Hello, everyone. Welcome and thank you for being with us on YouTube. I'm Bi Hong and my Dharma name is Chao Li Yi. Cindy, you have to unmute yourself, and Sister Kang, you have to unmute yourself.
Hi, brothers and sisters. I'm Sister Cindy. My Dharma name is Lim Tzu Zu.
Welcome everyone and a very good afternoon to you. My name is Sang Lei Yen and my Dharma name is Chu Hui.
Good day, everyone, brothers and sisters. Amitabha. My name is Chia. Dharma name Yi.
Okay. So now I shall share our video, yeah, PPT. Okay, can you all see? Can you all see the screen?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. Today's topic is transform yourself. How do we transform ourselves? Friends online, how would you transform yourself? Or you never thought there is a need to transform? Do write your comments at the live chat. And if time permits, we will read them out later. In life, time transforms us physically. Birth, aging, illness, and death is the cycle of life that we all have to go through. Aging, with the passing of time, transforms us from babies to children, to adults, to middle age, and then to old age. Very often we hear people say, time flies. One good example is recently our 4-mission group had a Zoom gathering where every member needs to share their baby or childhood photos. Sister Kang, you have to unmute.
I remember that meeting. Nobody could recognize me.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you look so young then.
Yeah, when I was young, everything is so different.
Oh yeah, everyone can't recognize each other at all. We have changed a lot.
Yeah, so time really transforms us physically, whereas people, matters, and objects influence us mentally. How do we transform ourselves? Like a caterpillar undergoing metamorphosis to become a beautiful butterfly? What about we humans? Do we undergo metamorphosis in our mind to become a beautiful person with loving kindness and joyful giving? My journey. In life's journey, we may be faced with situations where we need to make decisions. Do we take the path on the left or do we take the path on the right? Sometimes we hear people saying, if only I could turn back time. If only I could turn back the clock, I would choose otherwise. In reality, even if we could turn back time without hindsight, under that particular time, that particular space, and that particular situation, we would still make the same decision. Because what is meant to be is meant to be. What is important is we learn from the experience. So when one has correct faith, one will not go wrong on the journey of life. Because with correct faith, our views would be right. Right views leads to right thoughts, then our action would be right. So my awakening, as we embark on life's journey, we are bound to meet people or encounter situations that would awaken us. The 4 of us, Sister Anne, Sister Cindy, Sister Kang, and myself, we are so blessed that we had the karmic affinity to know about Tzu Chi and join as volunteers. As we walk on this Tzu Chi Bodhisattva path, we learn about complying with the 10 precepts. Precepts are actually rules set to protect us, just like a country having laws to protect its citizens. And also Buddha's teaching, as explained by Dharma Master Cheng Yen. We see sufferings which awaken us to know and count our blessings. The fact that we are still breathing, we have clothes to wear, food to eat, are examples of blessings that we all take for granted. We learn to cherish our blessings and in turn create more blessings to help those in need. We also learn to adopt the mindset of gratitude, respect, and great love. In Mandarin, it is called 感恩,尊重,爱. If we don't do something meaningful, our life will pass by in vain. But if we work unceasingly for the betterment of mankind, ours will be a beautiful life. My destiny. Once we are awakened and transform our mindset, we will acquire wisdom. Wisdom allows us to take control of the mind and change our destiny. Then we will be able to live life to the fullest. So next, I would like to invite Sister Anne to share on her duty at Education Center. Sister Anne?
Hi, everyone. I'm honored to be here to do my sharing. I'm one of the volunteers from Education Center. It's also Education Missions, right? I joined Tzu since year 2000. My affinities with Tzu it started with attending a Spreading Great Love musical night in year 1999, and was very touched by Master's great compassion and her great love when they shared a video of Tzu's past activity. But at that time, I have no knowledge about Buddhism and zero understanding of Dharma. On that particular musical night, they shared Tzu's 4 great missions. They are charity, medical, education, and humanistic. For education mission, it was just a beginning or in the midst of establishing. So in the year of 2001, we had Tzu Kindergarten and Tzu Humanistic School. I was very keen and registered my 2 children and eventually joined the Humanistic School, which was conducted on alternate Sunday. As usual, being a mother who always wanted and expecting our children to do well in their academy, wanted the best for them. But master philosophy in education is to purifying all minds and hearts. Naturally, it will be a peaceful and a harmonious society, freeing the world from disaster. So in Tzu education, beside academy, Master wanted to stress more about moral and social ethics, which is the child behavior towards gratitude and filial piety. Master often says the children are the hope of society, and the education gives hope to children. This is how and why I love Master's way of approach, and this is how I started with and attached to Tzu. And soon after joining Tzu as a great love parents, carrying out my volunteer duty in Tzu kindergartens, as a volunteer teacher for 3 years. In between that 3 years, I learned and understand more of Master's teaching approach in how to guide our own children, as well as other children. I learned to practice 3 good deeds every day and be more mindful during my conversation with children, with positive and gentle approach while interacting with them. There's a verse of Jingsi aphorism that I learned and often apply in my daily practice as a reminder to myself too. The Jingsi aphorism phrase is, use mother's heart to love all the universal children. Use Buddha's heart to teach our own children. Initially, I used to apply this aphorism to remind myself in treating all children as my own, though it was very hard at the beginning. We bound to have differences at that time. Each time when interacting with children, I learned to be patient in listening to them and keep reminding myself to love all children equally. Finding the right ways and methods to teach them. I always find Education Center is a platform that allowing me to practice my spiritual cultivation. And till today, I still felt the same. I found a place for spiritual practice. During my teaching in class, I always find the children, they are very cute. Their minds are like the sponges. Whatever teachers teach them in class, and they absorb and capable in applying and practicing what they learn. There's a story I would like to share, which is about teachers in classes often teach the children Jingsi aphorism and put it into practical teaching in class. A true story is about one of the little girls from our kindergarten. One day, her mother was scolding and shouted angrily at her elder brother for not doing his homework. Suddenly, Mom heard a voice say, "Mom, my teacher said, when one gets angry, you are punishing yourself with others' mistakes." When she calmed down herself and realized that she had learned a great lesson from her daughter, she was shocked and she was pleased at that time that her little daughter taught her realistic phrase. Why must one be so angry over such a matter? Isn't that the youngest in the family has the wiser wisdom mind? All this year, as a volunteer in 30 education missions, it is my blessing that I'm able to benefit others by guiding children in practical life lessons, able to guide, showing them how to prepare their own simple vegetarian snack, beverage, or a simple sandwiches. I'm so grateful to have all these children as my role model and allowing me to interact with them, and we build bond of gratitude, respect, and love, and growing together. So in my past, before I get to know Tzu Chi, I live in ignorance and illusion, have no attachment into true faith. My husband and I used to go fishing, sightseeing, and have leisure times with friends during the weekend. That was how we passed our time during our early days. But soon after I joined Tzu Chi, one day I listened to Master's teaching regarding setting free of sentient life, instead of catching them for food or caging them as pets. As Master mentioned, the karma that result from having caught the fish and killing it slowly into the net, killing it slowly in the neck, waggling till their last breath. That was truly my awakening day. So recall what we had done in the past years, how much karma we had committed. So this is my great awakening. Since then, always have to be very mindful. And that's where I learned and began to repent. In the early years, I did not know that fishing a leisure act is one of the killing in our 30 precepts. That's creating karma. Now I have to be diligently repent all time and create more blessings by adopting vegetarian meals, promoting vegetarianism. I also cook vegetarian lunch set for others. And even recently, I'm promoting the 21 days healthy meals program. So after many years in Tzu Chi, my view and perception did change. More open and able to accept others in the way of cultivate a better person. More calm, higher level of tolerance, but definitely there are more rooms for me to improve. All these changes are because of Master's teachings. Day by day, bit by bit, trying my best to absorb of Master's Dharma as much as I could to make a better self. My gratitude to Master, whom the founder of Tzu Chi world, which allowing me to learn and put into practice in cultivating my spiritual cultivation, realize the value of life by listening to Master's daily teachings. So indeed, I'm very grateful that I'm the Tzu Chi volunteer and get to understand the value of my life, which makes a great change in me, which is able to change for a better person. Right now, I always felt life is so blessing and contented. Cảm ơn. And this is my sharing for today. Cảm ơn everyone. Amitabha.
Hi, I'm Cindy. Here I would like to share about my life journey in Tzu Chi. Beginning when I joined Tzu Chi path, it was like a sea wave to me, and it's rather rocky too. I actually have this infinity when I enroll my children in the humanitarian school until they are graduated. Well, in the beginning, I always feel I'm out of place because in Tzu Chi, everything is in Chinese Mandarin because I'm an English education. It's the language barrier that I face most. But until today, I'm still in the organization. And I can prove that everything is possible if we are willing to learn, especially our Master's Dharma, and put it into action. Everything we learn while we are doing, and this practice just go on. And my awakening came when I participated in the international relief in Myanmar. When I was wearing gray shirt, JingSi, I participated and was involved in the charity work there. Before that, I don't realize all the blessings I have in me all this while. It's really an eye-opener for me. During the charity work, we really face a tough trip because we have to take a truck in a rocky road to get to the destination homes of the recipients. And throughout was a dusty and blowing wind. Imagine our white pants all turn into yellow color and also have to walk in the muddy road. Everyone have to wear boots and walk along the mud, lifting heavily our left and right legs each time. Upon reaching their homes, I'm so surprised to see their homes are like a little hut with a low ceiling. We have to bend down in order to walk into their homes. Can you imagine? They are bending every day for their daily movement inside the house. I just couldn't believe or imagine what life would be to stay in such situation. And here I would like to share our master's way of helping out in Myanmar. Myanmar people learned of our master's compassionate and great love to help people through our Tzu Chi volunteers, together with our Yesuku who were stationed in Myanmar. And they also learned by receiving aid from Tzu Chi. They can become a giver even though they are poor, but we can see they are spiritual rich. Now we see how they are able to help and give, saving up a handful rice from every meal to help the needy. This is a common practice to many family villages in Myanmar. Tzu Chi volunteers went to carry out relief work and give out rice seeds to help the affected farms to recover from the disaster. To pay love forward, a farmer started to grab a handful of rice before cooking and save in a jar for the poor. Through words of mouth, more and more people take up the practice. They are saving up rice every day to help people worse off than them. In Taiwan, year 1966, Dharma Master Cheng Yen founded Tzu Chi to carry out charity work and came up with an ingenious idea. She asked her 30 followers, who were all housewives, to put aside 50 NT cents from their groceries money every day and save the money in a bamboo bank. At the end of every month, they collected everyone's saving to help the poor, and many are inspired to do the same. Just a short story to share about this little boy in the picture. Sis Bihong, can I have the slide? Yeah, thanks. He's unable to walk and only crawl on the floor to do his movement. Every day, his mother has to carry him to school by piggyback him for almost 1.5 hours to reach the school. After our doctors check on him, they have confidence that this boy is able to walk if they heal him. I remember doctors using ropes and stones to tie against his legs and using the pressure to pull his leg. It is a very painful procedure, but this little boy can endure the painful experience because he himself wished he would want to walk again and live a normal life. We have a Jingsi, 有愿就有力, is the vow of this little boy. At the end stage, this little boy really able to walk with crutches. We are so happy to see this boy walking from one end to the other. The parents and himself were happy and grateful to our master especially. And that is how Tzu Chi had transformed this little boy's life. Here in Penang, Jingsi Tang, I involved as a volunteer at our spiritual home. We meet people from all sorts of lives. In fact, I'm grateful during my duties for so long. It really has changed my life to a better life. I became a more humble person and also gained wisdom while I learned from here at our spiritual home, where I'm able to cultivate myself and find my happiness and value of life here. And I have a story to share while I'm on duty here. It's about an outsider who walked in our Jingsi Tang long time ago. I used our master's teaching, compassionate loving kindness, to fulfill my duties. Honestly, I'm not good at sharing because I find that my sharing is always very poor, and that's very true. No doubt we don't underestimate oneself, for human beings have unlimited potential. I only use my little actions, this already able to move and touch one person's heart. Master always asked us to be mindful. At that time, I remember she asked, at that time, I remember this visitor asked whether we supply vegetarian food for public who walked in here. It was actually at that time we were promoting vegetarianism for 1 whole month during May, and people who came and take away the rice boxes. After a short tour at Jingsi, I took her out for lunch and gave her a lift home. After a few years, I even couldn't remember myself about doing all this because we do everything without expectations. And it just goes off from my memory already. And until today, the person has become our Tzu volunteer as well. And she do her sharing here in Tzu about me, who have attended to her long time ago. She said she met a volunteer like me to let her have confidence in this Tzu organization. What I want to share here is my little actions are able to move and touch her heart. Another story of a foreigner whom I gave a bamboo bank to him. After 6 months, he came back to Jingsi with a bamboo bank, and I was so joyful to see him bringing back the bamboo bank. He said, after understanding from me that our masters wouldn't mind about the amount of donation, he said he is happy to bring back and he can feel the sincerity from us when receiving the bamboo bank money from him. Coming to the topic of donations again, I met a donor at the reflexology center. Only with a little sharing about our Tzu, he also willing to lend his ears for me. And of course, he asked some questions about donation. I told him all our donation fund is solely for charity purposes only. I also generously invited him to pay a visit when he told me he never been to our Jingsi Center before. And on our second time meeting again at the Reflexology Center, we made an appointment together for a visit at Jingsi, and I called Chun Sijie to meet up together. He finally came and brought his wife and 2 daughters as well. We have good infinity and was talking along. At that same day, the husband became our honorary director, Long Tong. And I still remember his wife was grateful for having the opportunity to donate. She even said that Buddha has sent me as a messenger to both of them. I was overjoyed at that time, and never that I expected that only a little sharing from me, I have accomplished another good deed. Master's Jingsi aphorisms, do without expectations. In less than 1 year, his wife also became our honorary director as well. And she also told me in her mind, she only have one good thought, that they are able to donate and help. Until today, they still donated to us for good cause. So never underestimate oneself again. That's my sharing as for now. I would like to invite Sister Kang from Medical Mission to share our sharing. Thank you.
Thank you, Sister Cindy. Thank you. Hi there. It's my turn to share. I am now currently a call volunteer at the City Dialysis Center. I was not much of a religious person before, but coming to City opened up my eyes and opened up my world for me. I did not know about Master Cheng Yen until I was 51 years old. I thought it was a bit late, but Master has this Jingsi aphorism which says, which goes like this. It is never too late for a deep-rooted affinity to blossom. Do not worry over a distant journey as long as one finds the way. So when I was working, I often wondered if there was more to life than living and dying. It was like something was missing. So I thought to myself that when my children were grown, I would like to do more meaningful things, like helping others. Actually, I was unknowingly making a vow. And do you know what? As soon as I retired, I found Tutti. A Tutti magazine brought me to this wonderful park. The pictures, the slides you see here was in my early days with Tutti. I retired in December 2000, and by January 2001, I was volunteering at the dialysis center in Gottlieb Road, which opened in 1997. My early days were spent with TIMA volunteers, tagging along with Dr. Lee and with our resident Sufu Reverend Sen Yan and the few nurses to visit the sick. The photos seen here were of various activities with TIMA. I even had the good fortune to join the group visiting Taiwan. That was around the year 2004. All this happened, and it was a time of awakening and spiritual growth for me. I was exposed to Master's teachings about kindness and compassion and creating good affinities. Now we get to practice all this at the dialysis center with our patients, with staff, with visitors, and even among us volunteers. So we continue with our visitors at the dialysis center. There are often visitors to the center, whether walk-in or in arranged groups. The group you see here was from Myanmar. We have had groups from every walk of life: business people, professionals, students, religious groups, and even medical groups. Once a tour guide even brought his clients to visit us. His clients were foreigners or orang putih. So you see, you never know who will come by. The other slides will show you other events which we participate in as a volunteer in the dialysis center. This was World Kidney Day. Besides going on duty, we often join with staff to celebrate special events. This World Kidney Day was celebrated to make people more aware of the importance of taking care of their kidneys. So about taking care of our kidneys, every patient has a story to tell. I learned that a taxi driver patient got kidney failure because he could not easily stop to relieve himself as and when he liked. Another lady patient who was a storekeeper did not use the toilet much when she was very busy. Such a dangerous practice is one of the many causes of kidney failure. Now, they have to undergo dialysis for the rest of their lives. All these patients bear their suffering to teach us life lessons, so we can all learn from them to take better care of ourselves. I would like here to share with you one of our patients, Hui Ting's story. She was just 18 years old. Imagine that, just out of school, when she learned that she had to undergo lifelong dialysis. She was very grateful when Tutti stepped in to give her free dialysis. It was life-changing for her. So now let us watch this short video for ourselves.
多多少少知道这个肾病是医不了的， 叫做富贵病啊，人家讲。
我除了花钱、睡觉、洗身，还有什么？我都没有功能。所以，对于我一个自尊心这样强的人啊，我不能给人家这样，我不能。是因为里面的样样的设备很好，护士很好，给我们的照料都很好，就那个心境就放松下去了，就整个人放松了啊。然后在那边洗疗，环境洗疗很好啊，觉得洗3次了嘛，又打补针，又有验血，越洗就越不错耶，很精神啊，回去都不用睡觉了。
我想向健康的人讲，你们真的是要感恩你们健康，更要感恩你们的五谷六脏。也希望呢，你们健康的人也可以发挥你们的一点点的爱心，去多关怀、多帮忙那些需要的人。
Oh, okay. Happily, this Hui Ting is now a full-fledged city commissioner. She has become someone with palms down from being someone with palms up. JingSi aphorism says it best like this. We help others with our palms facing down, and we ask for help with our palms facing up. Helping brings happiness. Seeking help brings pain. So there are quite a few. Such a patients as Hui Ting never fail to inspire us. I'm so impressed by them. So at this point, now I shall call upon Sister Bee Hong to tell you about our humanistic culture. Sister Bee Hong, over to you.
And Sister Kang. Here you can see the picture, yeah, friends online. How many of you has visited this JingSi Books and Cafe at B Street, Penang? Do type at the live chat if you have visited us before. This is the first JingSi Books and Cafe in the whole world. And now we have more than 100 JingSi Books and Cafe in different parts of the world. JingSi actually are two Chinese words. Jing means still, Si means thinking or contemplation. So the name itself denotes what the ambience is like. Many visitors told us they like the Zen decoration, simple and oriental. They felt peaceful and calm. They even mentioned that the place is filled with positive energy. All the products at JingSi Books and Cafe are meant for purifying people's hearts, spiritual elevation, and creating a peaceful society. We call the product as Fa Ping in Mandarin. Literally translated, it means Dharma product. My journey as a volunteer at JingSi Books and Cafe. Wow, I look so young then, right? That was taken so many years ago when I first joined Tzu as a white t-shirt volunteer at JingSi Books and Cafe. And that is me now. Again, time transforms us physically in our looks. At that time, I don't know anything about Buddha's teaching. But because I need to interact with the visitors, both local and from foreign countries, I started to read the Dharma books that were translated into English language. Being English educated, I can't read or write Chinese words. Luckily, we do have a good collection of English books. It was then that I felt JingSi Books and Cafe is the place where I undergo metamorphosis, transforming from a person with ignorance to a person who understood life's true meaning. So next is a JingSi aphorism. JingSi aphorisms are actually words of wisdom by Dharma Master Chen Yan based on Buddha's teachings, but explained in modern day language using daily life's examples. In the past, I did not give big donations because I was worried that who knows, I may need to use the money later on to buy things that I like. Then I came across this JingSi aphorism. Giving is like drawing water from a well. As water is drawn, more flows in. It is by giving that blessings continue to flow in. This is very true because no matter how much water we took from the well, you will notice that the water level remains the same. So it is true that by giving, blessings flows in. Another JingSi aphorism which awakened me is transform greed into contentment and contentment into compassion. Actually, our needs are very basic and little. It is our wants that cannot be fulfilled. In my wardrobes at home are filled with clothes. Most of them I wore only once or twice, and quite a number are brand new with the labels intact. The irony is I only wear the few outfits that I like, and jeans. I only wear the one pair that is quite worn out, even though I have so many pairs in the wardrobe. So friends online, are you like me? Prefer to wear only a few outfits that we feel comfortable in, even though we have so many outfits in our wardrobe. Do type yes at the live chat if you are like me. And after joining Tzu Chi, I learned to transform my greed into contentment and buy only things that I need. And I use the money that I've saved to do charity. That way, I'm able to transform my contentment into compassion. Actually, most of us, we are greedy. Well, for me, actually, I at first I didn't realize I was so greedy. Later, then I realized that I'm so greedy for good food, for sleep, for beautiful clothes, for jewelries and all that. And all these are greed which we don't really need. We just need the few basic items. Yeah. So once after joining Tzu Chi, I learned to transform greed into contentment and contentment into compassion because there are so many people who really need our help. So next we have this JingSi natural food product. Besides Dharma book series, we also have natural food product with touching stories of its origin, which you can Google search. JingSi tea from Sanyi Tea Plantation in Taiwan. Originally, it was not an organic plantation. It took Brother Chen Zhongho many years of hard work and dedication to transform it into its current organic status. And our JingSi rice, JingSi instant rice, an important treasure when Tzu Chi goes for international disaster relief program. Again, it has touching story as to why the Hansu food, without any R&D expertise, is willing and successfully come up with a formula to make JingSi instant rice. Our JingSi instant mix beverages, the multi-grain instant mix was specially concocted for Dharma Master Cheng Yen. But Dharma Master Cheng Yen's compassion and great love said such healthy beverage need to be shared with everyone. So that is why all of us have the opportunity to taste it now. So besides introducing our Jingsi natural food beverages in its original form, we transform them into delicious Jingsi buffet spread by just adding water and oil. No added sugar, no added flour, no added eggs. So when you look at it, one would think it's impossible. So initially, when we're asked to come up with recipes to make all these, we all of us felt it is impossible. But with a shift in our mindset, nothing is impossible with perseverance and determination. And in the process, we learn a lot about how all these items come about. That means its properties. This powder add with water, when you bake it, become what? So the whole process is actually our learning process. So it is by learning that it is by doing that we learn. And during the process of learning, we awaken. In Chinese, it is said, 做中学，学中觉. Wow, I'm trying to show off my Mandarin. Actually, here in the past, I dare not speak on stage, let alone sharing in Mandarin. In the past, I don't know how to make snacks, but now I'm able to give cooking class. As a volunteer at Jingsi Books and Cafe, I'm able to transform my weaknesses into my strength. As the saying goes, never underestimate oneself because everyone has unlimited capabilities. So next is our Lotus Sutra. As a Tzu Chi commissioner, we need to continuously study the Dharma to help us eliminate our habitual tendencies of greed, anger, delusions, arrogance, and doubts. So we English educated watch Wisdom at Dawn episodes where Dharma Master Cheng Yen expounded Lotus Sutra, which has English subtitle. Actually, Lotus Sutra in Tzu Chi, we have it in only Chinese language. Yeah. So for us English educated, if we want to learn the Lotus Sutra, we would need to watch the videos and the Wisdom at Dawn. And we are so grateful to the team of translators who translated all this into English so that we all English educated could benefit from it. We were able to study the Lotus Sutra, analyze it, and discuss its meaning. So initially, there's only 4 of us, and later we have 7 of us. And in the process, we learn how to express ourselves and how to analyze the Dharma, because every one of us, our perception about life, our perception about thinking is different. So it is good that during this Ping Su Hui, which is actually Ping is analysis or analyzing, you see, the books. So here is the video. We learn from each other, and that's how we grow. And the Dharma helps us to overcome whatever challenges that we face.
Yes. Knowing only English in a Mandarin-speaking environment is a challenge.
Yes, it's so true.
So we started to learn Mandarin in Tzu Chi.
Cindy, your mic is your speaker.
How do we learn? It's through practice that we learn. not always fluent, but people can understand us and our broken Mandarin.
Actually, for me, as a volunteer at JingSi Books and Cafe, I have many opportunities to interact with Chinese-speaking visitors. So when they come in, I need to share with them our Tzu the bamboo bank, the origin of Tzu and what Tzu is all about. So all these tourists, yeah, I have to interact with them. And when they are Chinese speaking, I would say, excuse me, 我的华语不好，我在学. So I tell them I'm only learning, yeah. And trust me, they are so wonderful. Even when I say the words, the intonation is wrong, they teach me and they corrected me. And that is how I learned Mandarin in JingSi Books and Cafe.
Sister Bihong, so that is why when I asked you how you managed to speak so well in Mandarin, you said to me, "Why a bin pui gao gao?"
In Hokkien, bin pui gao gao means in English it means skin, and in other words is not shy.
That's true. We need to be thick-skinned because if we are shy and we are sensitive, we will never learn. So we are so grateful because Dharma enriches us to understand that life is impermanent and to seize every opportunity to create good karmic affinities and live life to the fullest.
Okay, it's Cindy back again here. I would like to share, I live my life to the fullest now. In the past times, I have already wasted a lot of time in my life. I'm now finding my life more meaningful and doing some good things. Listening more to Master's Dharma and wisdom at dawn can really benefit us in our social daily life and home life. Nowadays, I really put effort into it by getting up as early as 4 a.m. to begin my morning plan for wisdom at dawn. I do not need an alarm to wake me up because it has been a practice that I woke up early in the morning, and I feel that I don't waste the opportunity for this, and it's worthwhile that I have lived my life to the fullest and more meaningful day. Kanan.
For me, being able to listen to Dharma daily and being able to join with Kim Su Hui and to volunteer in Tzu is really indeed fulfilling. That is why I'm still here in Tzu after 20 years. The medical mission shows me that without our health, we have nothing. We can do nothing. So when and where we can, if it is the right thing, Master says, just do it.
Cảm ơn Sister Kang. So we are coming to the end of today's session. So first, before we end the session, I would like to have a look at their live chat and see what they have commented. So the first one, Sister Maggie, good afternoon, brothers and sisters. And Sister Maggie said, we can transform ourselves by having an open mind thinking. As the saying goes, tough times won't last, but tough people will. You'll be late. Good afternoon, brothers and sisters. And then we have Brother Wong, good afternoon, Kan Eun brothers and sisters. And then with Evelyn, wishing us, Kan Eun brothers and sisters. And Lam Kok Wai, Amitofo, Evelyn. Evelyn is from Johor Bahru. And then we have Shirley Chin sending our regards. And Shirley Chin said, sounds so familiar. Always not enough clothes to change. And then Shirley said, Shirley Chin also commented, great JingSi products. And she said, 感恩 for our sharing. Okay, so we have come to the end. And before we end, we would like to share the following quotes by Dharma Master Chen Yan. Be mindful of your every thoughts.
Because good and bad come to fruition.
Cindy, we have lag. We can't hear you properly. Can you repeat?
Sorry, because seeds of the good and bad come to fruition over the passing of time.
Since as petals drop, lotus flower becomes a pot. Life meaning changes through life stages.
So we need to remind ourselves that a single act of kindness makes an endless ripple. That's all for our sharing today. Don't forget to subscribe our YouTube channel and give a like if you enjoyed the session. That would motivate us. Yeah, so see you next month. 感恩 and thank you.
Goodbye, everyone.
Bye.
Take care.
Bye-bye. Take care. Be safe.
Bye.